welcome to the third daily update. Change the title of what I'm going to call these from the daily vlog to the ship's vlog, because I don't want to every day say, oh, and today on my daily vlog. Just doesn't sit right with me. Anyway, today we are talking about mostly this guy behind me. So this is a Volvo Penta MD7. Okay, so in the comments in the last update, Norman wisely suggested that I should get the manual. The problem I had for the first couple of weeks of looking at this is, like a dipstick, first time I'm going to call myself a dipstick in this update, I had the wrong manual. I thought it was an MD1, and when I was looking, I was trying to look through the manual. I'm thinking something's not quite right. In my defense, I did read the number on here, the only number I could find, put that into Google, so you know, Google the almighty, and stupidly the first thing that came up, I thought, yeah, we'll take that as gospel, must be the truth. And for the first couple of weeks believed it was a Volvo MD1 and not a Volvo MD7. But thanks Norman, I do now have the correct manual, so it's a bit easier to find where all the parts are. So the last few days, and in the last real-time update, I told you I was gonna check the oil, because people have told me all sorts of things. Change the lift pump, change the fuel pump, that when you pull the stop lever, you've got this red cable here, you pull that, it pulls a little arm on the side which cuts the fuel off into the motor. Somebody was telling me that, not the cable, but the actual the pump part of that might need replacing, and everyone's telling me all these things need replacing. And as I mentioned in the last update, somebody told me maybe there's too much oil in there, and I remember dipstick moment 2. I put some oil in there because when I first tried it, the oil light came on the engine, and instead of taking this dipstick, which I need to show you, instead of taking this dipstick and measuring it, it's been a while since I changed the oil on the last boat, and I guess in a way I sort of forgot how to do it. So instead of doing that, which I should have done, and if anybody learns anything from this, don't put oil into a motor without checking how much you put in, off a rough estimate, which I actually had no idea about. Use the dipstick. Don't be a dipstick, use the dipstick. It's the motto of this update. So you've got 2 lines on there. One line is the minimum, and then one is don't fill beyond. I'm embarrassed to say, when I started taking some oil out, so I found an electric pump. As I say, the actual actions will happen in the upcoming episodes when they come out, but not even just like here or here. Literally, the first time I pumped some out and I went to check the first time, it had come to here. So like, there's a serious amount of oil in there that shouldn't have been in there, and I will video it and show you, but this is the amount of oil. So approximately, like, I don't know, 3 litres of oil too much in the motor. So we are hoping that's the problem. What then happened, as usual, I finished doing that, you know, I thought, yeah, right, let's start it. Well, no, let's be honest, I was a bit scared to start it, but after advice that, you know, I can stop with the airflow, which maybe is better than stopping with the fuel. You know, if it went too fast again, I was going to have to stop it with the fuel. And also, somebody told me the decompression lever, it is not the best way, but none of these ways are the best way. But I hate that phrase, voila. I can't help it. It's just, you just hear in the background someone, oh, voila, just. Why is everyone always shouting? Like, you can probably hear them more than me. So summertime in the south of France. Anyway, the boat, before I forget, the boat police have just been here. A boat came pulling in next to me, bumping into me, and I was like, patrol. I'm like, patrol what? Like, hope they're not coming to check anything here, but not that we have anything illegal going on this boat, but just not to be disturbed on a Sunday. But anyway, yeah, so boat police have just been here, and now some other crisis is going on outside. What was I saying? Yeah, now and then when I knew it was a little bit safer and there was ways to turn it off if it did it again, you know, I built up the courage, went to turn the key, and guess what? No power to the battery. So yesterday I spent most of the day again thinking that the solar output was broken. So one thing, if anybody knows, that I could do with knowing is, on a Victron charge controller, what was happening yesterday is it was sitting at around 10.5, which I know is low, and then it would start to go up, and then all of a sudden it would get to a certain voltage and drop back down. But as a result, it did that throughout the whole morning until about 2 o'clock, when then suddenly I gave it a little bit of a boost with a battery charger from the EcoFlow. Again, this episode's not sponsored by EcoFlow, but I am enjoying it. I keep saying it, I know, but yeah, I'll stop pointing that dipstick at everyone, other than myself, maybe. Gave it a bit of a boost with that, and then for the second half of the day, it went back up. It's telling me that the battery is full, and there was occasionally it would do a click. I'm not going to do it now while I'm sat on it, and actually I should turn it off there while I'm leaning all around the engine. Yeah, sometimes I wonder how I've made it this far through life. Yeah, sometimes like there was a click, an odd click, but not a turn. Now that tells me, who obviously doesn't know everything, so I'm not going to pretend that I do, that if there wasn't enough power in the battery, what I used to find on my old boat was that it would, or it would even make like a sort of, excuse bad sound effects, like it was trying to put power, but the power wasn't enough to turn it. It's not doing that, it's not clicking. So what I'm going to do this afternoon, and check back tomorrow, I'll let you know how I get on. And if anybody's new here, these daily updates are me trying to get a free boat that I inherited out of the port that I've been stuck in for like 9, nearly 10 months, I think. And step one is getting this engine going. So subscribe if you like to the playlist. It will now probably be called the Ship's Log, and there'll be a daily update of how I'm getting on, which I'm going to try keep to around 10 to 15 minutes per day. And as I've said before, the episodes will come, but tomorrow check back. But what I'm going to do today is I'm going to take off, because for me it seems like there's a good chance it might be a problem with a connector, because the fact it did click once and then not, and it's as though something's maybe not quite touching or not quite connected properly, rather than the battery. And you know, I trust the charge controller is telling me the correct voltage in the batteries. So if anybody knows something I might have overlooked, please do let me know. But that's the rest of the day's plan. If I get that done and started, I'll spend the second half of the afternoon just carrying on with the sanding I started the other day. And yeah, 2 days of no wine before 9, we're doing quite well. So this is day 3. You know, not messing around, sat on the deck in the sun drinking wine, although today is Sunday and it was tempting and it's red hot. And I went to the shop earlier to buy some ibuprofen because I think I've got an abscess, and I think I've dropped the ibuprofen on the way back from the shop. And so if anyone's going to drive you to have a wine, that was a close call, but no, I'm going to try to stick to that rule, and that's what I'm doing for the rest of the day. So I'm going to take off all the terminals. I will just spin you around. If anyone can tell me what this one is, I've got a feeling it might be for the inverter, but somebody might. Oh, they've got labels on. Oh, I didn't know that. I don't like taking this side panel off because it's a nightmare to get on and off, but it's eerie in here. Anyway, I don't think this is stopping it starting because it started since this weren't attached, but if I spin you around, I've turned it off, didn't I? So I turned it off, didn't I? So it's safe. Right, there's a starter motor here. Oh, actually, what are them? I didn't take them two wires off yesterday. Right, this one is obviously the big chunky one that does it with a 30 above it. This little one with a D minus, and now it actually says D minus. I might be able to find out myself, but if you know, let me know. Can you see that one there? What happened there was, when I first tried to start it, I tried to turn it without the compression on and it turned too fast, and that wire melted, and here's the remains of the wire. Oh, I think it was that one. Yeah. Oh no. Was it that one? Yeah, no, it was that one because I took it off and put a new one. But I think I need to put a thicker one because the new one I put then melted too. But I think it's missing. They've got these little rings and that one doesn't have one, which I think prevents that from then touching the metal and only touching the part it's meant to touch. So anyway, that's actually not connected at all. I have a feeling it might be to charge the battery, because since the engine has started without that wire, so needs replacing. But yeah, let me know if you know what each of these wires means. There's that one there, which I think is the one to start it. I have tried to retighten that a few times, but you know, all the parts are touching, and I cleaned that. That was my first assumption. Yesterday I didn't see them two there, so I'm gonna have to have a look at them too. The air intake, it's this thing here. Yeah, what are them two? I've got a wiring diagram, but I didn't see them two, and it's quite, you lose track of them very easy. And yeah, that's got the same things on. So the D, maybe that's, see, that says D plus on that one. There isn't a D minus, and it was that one that I then connected to that one. That one says D minus, and that one says D plus. So maybe. For them, I will check with a wiring diagram before I electrically try to start the motor again, perhaps. But yeah, that's where we're at with the engine. I'll take you outside. Because it's absolute carnage going on outside. Too much is happening today. People are shouting, arguing. God knows what's happening outside. Anyway, yeah, that's today's update. Yeah, still just on with the engine. The first real-time update, so as I say, I'm doing this daily, I just think it makes sense. But the first one, you know, the video's done quite well. I think by the time this goes on tonight, maybe it made 1,000 views, and there was 15 new subscribers from it. So I'm going to stick at doing this, and hopefully can just give stop fiddling with that. Not only just show you guys what I'm doing, but it gives me a bit of a boost to, you know, record what I'm doing every day, because then I've got to do something, otherwise I have nothing to show you. So obviously, as always, thanks for watching, and I'd appreciate a lot any likes, shares. If you're not subscribed already, you can have a free trial. It's free anyway, it's YouTube. But yeah, let's see if we can get out of here by the end of next week. That's, well, I need to really, because the budget is, and I need to go earn some money. So on that note, I'll see you tomorrow. Thanks for watching. trying to record like a nice shot of coming up from the water, the two boats over there, and then the fucking rocks just moved. Oh, I don't know if I've broken anything yet. Man, that hurt.